Hello, this is Peter rivera-concannon, starting Invoice 1. This one was challenging actually. It took me 3 tries. I didn't finish the first 2 because of 2 certain things. That'll be explained in the essay later on, of course. But first, starting off with the HTML skeleton, of course, for the Invoice HTML. I already had that set up beforehand. Then I'm gonna start the script, the JavaScript section, so then I can start creating the variables and all those things needed for this assignment. So of course, just completing the first part, which is using those JavaScript comment tags to make a multi-line comment. Not sure because my screen's large, so it wouldn't take up more than one line. So I just automatically made an enter sign. I entered it and then added the with my input for the values as the second line. Next, I'm creating the product data of all the things you gave us. So I copy and pasted the product one, that line, those 4 lines of code from the Invoice 1 instructions. Then, of course, copying it 4 more times to create 5 different products that will be on this sales invoice. And also, of course, changing each variable name, the comment number, and of course, everything else that needed to be changed to their respective numbers and I guess string names as well. I just chose some simple numbers, ones that will work out easily. But, I keep them low in the end. Besides the 20 at first, I do change that, of course. But, yeah, this is me just changing all those values so it will create the variables for each items and their respective quantities and prices. And then next, I created a variable called extended price 1 or x price 1, and then I made it equal to the quantity times the price, which is just basically creating the extended price for their invoice. I then copied it 4 more times again to create one for each other product for the invoice, and change all the numbers respectively for each variable, each operation. Of course, it's just a multiplication, so it's just the asterisk. And here I am creating a variable for the subtotal, which is just going to be the extended prices all summed together. So it's just the extended price 1 plus the next one, and so on. And here I'm making a variable for the tax rate, which was given to us, which was 5.75%. But of course, in string, the number you have to put it in the decimal form. And next is the variable for tax, which is the tax rate um, multiplied by the subtotal. And that gives us our tax for the invoice. And then, of course, next is to compute the grand total, which is a new variable for total, which then equals the tax plus the subtotal. Because the tax is not the tax rate, but the actual numbers done. And next thing I do is I go to the instruction page. I viewed its page source, and I took the code for the table, just as Professor Port did. So that helped a lot. That was also one of my past. I think it was for my first attempt. That slowed me down a lot because I tried to manually type out the whole thing, and that was basically a nightmare. But yeah, and then after doing that, Of course, I don't need all 5 of them right now, each 5 data thing, so I'll be deleting them because I saw in the hints that it's easier, it's actually correct to just do one data entry at a time, and then it won't error with the system. So here I'm adding the script tags to make this a JavaScript, so it's correctly formatted for this project. Of course, I'm going to continue to comment throughout this to try to make it easier for a reader or someone else to interpret what I'm doing and what each code means or what each code does. But also using the document write tag, so the server will process this correctly. And then using the cache squiggly bracket tags to add in to have the document write out those values since they're in Java form instead of HTML. That's why we're in a Java script division or section. Yep, just gonna basically fix all these values so that they're the correct format and display the correct information. And then just reassure, I think after this part, I check on the server, make sure it's all running correctly and that this data is showing up correctly. And then right after, we'll be copying these 4 more times and, of course, changing the information so it fits respectively for each product, and that so it looks correct on the table. After finishing those rows, we'll go to the bottom three, which are the subtotal, the tax, and the grand total, of course. And since we already ended the script from earlier, the JavaScript, we have to enter a new script tag here again. But of course, keep the $sign outside of it so it still shows that normally. So again, using the script and the script tags and the document right to have the browser correctly format this and display our information. And I added the tax dot to fix 2, so it would stay at 2 decimal places. I do that as well to the other two, but of course I just noticed that that isn't for that one. That's for the one below. I'm typing it now, and it'll be fixed soon to be correct. But overall, just changing all these to be correctly formatted, since it's no longer in a script tag, that it has to be script tagged again. And yeah. And yeah, I checked over my document again, just had to fix this one part because the grand total was showing multiple decimal places, of course, so I want 2 at the end of the grand total. And that's my invoice 1 right there, my screencast. My total time was 25:30 something. 25:40, call it right there. And yeah, this